Michael Carrick just became Manchester United's head coach, albeit as a caretaker until the end of the season. But here's what nobody's talking about. This is either the smartest decision United have made in years, or proof they've learned absolutely nothing. And I'm about to show you exactly which one it is, why the board chose familiarity over ambition, and whether Carrick can actually bring back that good feeling at United and put some smiles back on fans' faces. Look, a few weeks ago, it felt like United were in freefall with Amorim in charge. 2 wins in their last 9 games, dressing room seemingly in pieces, fans unhappy with the style of play. And then, Carrick. The moment that announcement dropped, the fan base felt like it had been uplifted. Now, most people will tell you this is just another panic appointment. Desperation. Same old United. But stick with me here, because by the end of this video, you're going to see why this decision reveals everything about where Manchester United actually are right now, and whether they can still be saved. Let me ask you something. When you heard Michael Carrick, Manchester United head coach, what was your first reaction? Because that reaction tells you everything about how you see this club right now. Some fans see stability. Someone who knows the building, knows the pressure, knows what United DNA actually means. Others see nostalgia, a club looking backwards instead of forwards, again. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Both sides might be right. United didn't appoint Carrick because he was the best manager available. They appointed him because he was the safest. Think about where this club is right now. The dressing room has lost all authority figures. The fan base is exhausted by cycles of short-termism. Every decision for the last decade has been reactive, emotional, chaotic. So Carrick isn't here to be the next Fergie. He's here to stop the bleeding. This is not a romantic appointment. This is risk management. But that doesn't mean it can't work. Because to understand whether Carrick can actually turn this around, you need to look at him in 3 different ways. And one of those versions? That's the one that could change everything. First, the player. Michael Carrick wasn't flashy, no tricks and flicks, no Rabonas on the edge of the box. But here's what United fans remember. They were better when he played. He controlled tempo, protected the back 4, made everyone around him look better. That's not nostalgia talking. That's what this current squad is desperately missing. Second, the coach. At Middlesbrough, Carrick's teams were structured, possession-based, disciplined. Not aggressive for the sake of it, but deliberate. He took a mid-table championship side and had them playing football that actually looked organised, coherent. Words you haven't been able to use about Manchester United in months, even years. Now, can he replicate that at Old Trafford? That's the question. But there's a third version of Carrick that might matter even more than his playing career or his Middlesbrough stint. Third, the United insider. Carrick knows where the power struggles happen. He knows which voices in that dressing room actually carry weight and which ones are just noise. He spent over a decade at the club as a player, then came back as a coach. That institutional knowledge is priceless when you're trying to steady a sinking ship. But here's the danger. Sometimes being too close to the problem makes it impossible to see the solution clearly. And that brings us to what Carrick actually needs to do. Not what fans want him to do, what he needs to do. Because if you're expecting him to reinvent Manchester United, you're going to be disappointed. Let's be real about what's coming. Carrick is not going to transform United into prime Barcelona overnight. What you should expect is control. Simpler build-up, clearer roles, fewer moments where United look like 11 strangers who just met in the tunnel. At Middlesbrough, Carrick favoured a 4-3-3, possession-focused but not possession for the sake of it. He values ball retention, progressive passing and defensive stability, which, if you've watched United this season, sounds like absolute paradise compared to the chaos we've been seeing. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Can Carrick handle the egos? Because United's dressing room isn't Middlesbrough's. You've got players earning $300,000 a week, international superstars who've won everything, and they've just watched their club appoint a manager with less than 2 years of senior coaching experience. This is where it gets interesting, because Carrick has something most managers walking into Old Trafford don't have: credibility. He's not some outsider trying to impose a philosophy. He is the philosophy. 5 Premier League titles, Champions League winner, over 400 appearances. When Carrick talks about what it means to play for Manchester United, players listen. But that credibility comes with a risk. And this is the part nobody wants to say out loud. The danger is not Carrick failing. The danger is Manchester United mistaking familiarity for progress. Think about it. This club has been trapped in a cycle for over a decade now. Hire a big name, give them 18 months, panic when it doesn't work, scramble for the next solution. And every single time, they convince themselves that this time will be different. So here's what you need to ask. Is Carrick the start of something coherent? Or is he just another emotional decision dressed up as strategy? Because Carrick can steady the ship. He can bring organisation. He can get players running in the same direction again. But the club still has to decide where they're actually sailing. What's the plan for next season? Who's making the transfers? What style of football does Manchester United actually want to play? And that's the thing nobody's talking about. Michael Carrick isn't here to save Manchester United. He's here to show them who they really are right now.